Ladies and gentlemen, you do me a very great honor of having me here this evening to receive this award. I thank you deeply for recognizing whatever contribution I was able to make to the development of innovation and entrepreneurship in Ohio. When Frank Samuel called me to inform me of the award, I told him that I probably would be unable to attend the ceremony because both of my age and my wife's health, and therefore that you might want to award this to someone else. Frank was kind enough to say no, and so we're here together tonight. But at least I'm able to be with you electronically and to make a few comments about the development of entrepreneurship and innovation in Ohio. The situation today is very far different from what things were in 1968 when I began Morganthaler Ventures. The fact that a venture capitalist of Mark Kwame's standing and experience would launch a fund to concentrate in the Midwest speaks volumes about the increase in opportunities that has occurred in these days. Many people have contributed to the progress that has been made, and I would like to recognize the early efforts of a number of people, those that I know particularly well, and I regret those whose names should be included, but we don't have enough time for them, or people that I don't know. The people that I'm mentioning tonight are Dorothy Bonnock, Frank Samuel, both Ray Leach and Baiju Shaw and their staffs, later Rebecca Bagley. All these people helped build the key infrastructure. Mel Mixon and Bill Sanford showed what entrepreneurs could do. Jamie Ireland was important both in venture capital, infrastructure, and getting key legislation in Columbus. And Loyal Wilson and Jim Peters were major contributors in venture capital. And your own John McElraith contributed both in law and venture capital. And in the past, Richard Stratton was a very strong voice supporting entrepreneurship. And then there were the civic and business leaders without which we would not have been able to progress so well. These included Al Ratner, Toby Cosgrove, Tom Clark, Sandra Pianalto, Dick Pogue, Barbara Schneider, Ralph Shea, and a whole group of other corporate leaders that promoted financing and supported entrepreneurship. I wish I could mention everybody. In this organization that you have created is very badly needed. Your theme of a lot of progress, but a lot of work remaining to be done, unquote, this expresses the situation exactly. And you will recall that in the early 1900s, Ohio had a good claim to be what Silicon Valley is today. But by 1968, the success of the automotive, the rubber, the machine tool, the chemical, and the oil industries, and plus all the supporting services that created great law firms, great accounting firms, banking, and all the other service type firms had completely taken over. The large firms dominated the community, and entrepreneurship was pretty well forgotten. These people were doing sustaining research rather than disruptive research because this fitted their needs. And so the region missed both the semiconductor revolution and the later biotech revolutions that drove innovation in the United States in the second half of the 20th century. These innovations seemed very risky and seemed unnecessary to the region's prosperity. And that situation, when I started, caused me to plan a national firm rather than a regional one, fearing that we would not find enough opportunities locally. Today we have offices in 4 cities. The driving need for today for this region is to create opportunities. Venture capital will follow, as has been shown. I am old enough that I was lecturing in Silicon Valley to technical societies in 1949, and there were no venture capitalists there before the semiconductor came out in 1955. The reason was that too much time had passed since the gold rush and the subsequent buildup of the railroads, which had built up so much of the California wealth. Housing at that point was cheaper than in Ohio. And today, more recently, huge wealth has been created, and the housing prices in Palo Alto are unbelievable. The need for big successes in Ohio is absolutely critical. As far as I know, there hasn't been a $1 billion winner in Ohio since Steris. We have to keep looking in Ohio for the disruptive ideas, the technology or the service that will be what is known here in Silicon Valley as the game changer. We have to stay with the good ideas. We have to cut the losers more quickly before too much venture capital has been wasted. And that's hard to do. Most of us have been far too loyal to our investments that didn't pan out. We have to focus on leadership. I wish there were time to discuss this, but at least the Sloan School at MIT has published a condensed version of an article that I wrote in 2008 that expresses my thoughts on the subject. This article is on the internet, and if anyone wants the full article, if you email me at dmorganthaler@morganthaler.com, I'll be glad to send you a copy. And I like to congratulate the finalists tonight. Your effort and your results are very much to be admired. And I thank you all again for the evening and the honor.